Hi everyone, this is Masha from Results Focused Network Marketing, and in today's video I have a very special surprise for you. You see, for many years I had wanted to speak to this wonderful guru from network marketing industry, and it is no one else but Big Al, Tom Schreider. And today's surprise is I have just recorded an interview with him just a few days ago, and for the next 3 times that I send you my videos, I will be sending you a third of the interview that I had recorded with Big Al. And let me tell you, he's going to give you some golden nuggets, some of the real things that, you know, could turn your career around in our wonderful industry. So I suggest you pay really close attention, and here is Big Al. Well, welcome everyone. This is Masha from Results Focused Network Marketing, and today we have a very special surprise for you. We have a very special guest here who has agreed to dedicate some time today, and we have no one else but Big Al, Tom Schreider, here on the phone today. So, Tom, welcome to the call.
Well, thanks for inviting me, Masha.
Look, I'm so excited that, you know, at a very short notice you've agreed to this call, and certainly you need no introduction to all of our listeners today, but to those of you who haven't heard about Big Al, he's an icon in our network marketing industry. He's certainly been in the industry for over 40 years, which is incredible. Not just that, he's been one of the most well-known trainers, and he's just the person that can tell you what to do to get the results. Right, Tom?
Yes, I tell people I don't do it on good looks and personality, just by learning if you say certain words, people will join, and that makes it easier.
Yes, and that's what I really always have appreciated, just on a personal note, is that you are really the how-to guy. You know, it's not about just motivating people. It's not about just wishy-washy things. You tell them exactly what to do, and it gets them what they need, right?
Yes, motivation is important. I guess if we're not motivated, we won't look for the skills, but I don't care how motivated we are, we can levitate right up to that person, but at some point we will have to say some words, and that's important.
That's wonderful, and we can certainly share more about this on the call. But first of all, would you just, for those of listeners that haven't heard your story, would you just quickly go over how did you get started in the industry, and, you know, why did you get started, and why are you so passionate 40 plus years after?
Well, the reason I got started in the business was I had this job. You know, I studied engineering. I was doing this math work, and they told me that every year I would get 2 weeks holiday, which means by the time I drive 500 miles one way to see my parents to visit and then drive back, you know, well, my life's over. So I said, okay, I got to do something. So I changed careers and says I got to be in network marketing because I can have a lot of time. So I didn't join for the money. I just wanted time. And for the next year and 10 months, I'm the hardest working person you could ever imagine. Every waking hour away from my family, talking to people, doing presentations, you know, reading flip charts to people like they're reading impaired. And at the end of the year and 10 months, I had no customers, no distributors, total failure. And at that point, at the end of a year and 10 months, I learned some invaluable lessons. I learned that no matter how good your attitude is, you just end up feeling better about being a loser. And you can write down all the goals you want, but you're just writing down things you're never going to have. And you can be motivated and positive. And, you know, I had the eye of the tiger, the vision of an eagle, other dead animal body parts. You know, I chanted affirmations, sang the company song, did running high fives with my downline. And we had, just to believe more, little seances on Tuesday nights and sizzle sessions where all of us fellow losers got together, pumped each other up to get more rejection. And I learned that all this stuff is called personal development. It makes us better people, and goodness knows I needed that a lot. But personal development won't make us money. In order to earn money, we need to have some hardcore skills. And I tell people in your job, do you have skills? They said, yeah. And I said, if you don't have skills, they fire you, right? Right. So we need skills to make money. So I'm not saying anything bad about personal development, because goodness knows we should do that all our life. But what I'm saying is I got tied up with doing personal development, hoping that somehow it would turn into money. And at that point, after the year and 10 months, I was introduced to something called skills. And gosh, I didn't know there were skills in the business. It never occurred to me. But if you change professions, you certainly want to learn a new set of skills. It just never occurred to me. So I didn't know there was skill. I didn't know there was 25 basic skills in our business. And if I did know there's 25 basic skills, I wouldn't know how to do any of them. I was a mess. But once I was introduced to skills at the end of the year and 10 months, they taught me a little bit about skill 11, the magic sequence of words. 60 days later, I had a full-time income. So that's why I got hooked on skills for the rest of my life like crack cocaine. I said, this is the coolest thing in the world. I said, where, socially unacceptable engineers can actually do this business. So skills has been my whole life. It's just learning how to do the 25 skills better and pass them on to others so they can do them better, because once you have skills, it's just automatic doing this business. So that's how I got started.
Oh, that's really amazing, and I really love what you're saying. You really started to build up your skill, and that's where the results started to come. And since you're mentioning the 25 skills, I'm not sure that you have to tell us all of them, but if you can, I mean, what are those most important skills that we have to have in our industry?
Well, let's just take a simple encounter with somebody. You're going to use 4 basic skills on a simple encounter. The first thing is you need to have some skills to build rapport. And, I could ask my sponsor and say, hey, sponsor, how do I build rapport? And he'd say, well, I don't know, just chit-chat with them and find a reward on their desk and talk about them, or, mumble some conversation about their family. And this is ridiculous. So what we need is 6 or 7 or 8 really hardcore rapport skills where we can build instant bonded rapport within a few seconds. Now, if we don't have rapport with the person, which means they don't believe us and don't trust us, well, we're totally dead. You could say the most killer clothes in the world, but if they don't believe you, you're dead. And the example I give people, I says, if I came up to you and said, I have BMWs, half price, down in the parking lot, want to buy one? Everybody feels in the back of their mind, uh-oh, what's the catch? Something's wrong with them. They may be stolen, and they won't buy from me. And the reason is they don't trust me or believe me. And half-price BMWs, that's a pretty awesome deal. So I tell folks, I don't care if you sold your product for 1 cent. They're not going to buy from you if you don't have rapport and trust. We don't buy or join people we don't trust. So the first skill would be rapport. The second skill in an encounter with somebody is what's called an icebreaker. And that's where you introduce your business into a social conversation. It's kind of hard to say, hey, hi, how are you? How's the weather? Do you want to join my business? It's not very smooth. So we have to introduce an icebreaker to let people know we want to talk about business now in a way that is not offensive. The third thing we have to do, and this is what people with no skills, they get shocked, but once you have skills, it's dead obvious, is we have to close the prospect. And we're going to close the prospect way before we even mention the name of the company or the product, and we got to close instantly within the first 15 seconds. So we have to close the prospect. And why it sounds weird to the untrained, but to the trained who's decided to do this as a profession, it makes perfect sense. So we're going to close. And then number 4, now that they've made the mental decision, yes, I want to join, or yes, I want to buy, then we actually, lip sync some presentation or give them a video or whatever. That's all after the fact. So the decision is made on something totally other than the presentation. Once people learn about the skill, it makes sense. So we'd have to learn a icebreaker skill, of course. We'd have to learn a closing skill, of course. And then, of course, we'd have to learn a presentation skill. So that would be 4 things. But some of the other skills would be things like how to do word pictures, how to do a 1-minute presentation, how to do a 2-minute story to the subconscious mind, how to talk to the subconscious mind where the decisions are made, the 4 secret languages of prospects, the needs versus wants, so people go to people that want it instead of just need it, how to freeze the prospect's mind, how to use magic sequence of words to get people to say yes immediately, how to get people to believe you, leadership skills. These are just the basic skills. So, Masa, would be okay if I just gave an example of what would happen in an encounter?
Yes, go ahead. If you want me to role play with you, I'll go along.
Actually, won't even have to.
Go ahead.
I will. For the folks that listen, if you're taking notes, the 4 things have to happen is you have to create rapport, and you have to break the ice, you have to close the prospect, and then that's all you're really in charge of. After that, it's just a matter of some information up. So let's just take an energy drink for an example. How's that sound, Masa?
I think that sounds very good to us.
Right. So for an energy drink, I might say to somebody, I'm just curious, do you ever feel tired in the middle of the afternoon? And they probably go, yeah, well, I just found out how you can have this little healthy drink so you have energy all day long, never get tired again. Would it be okay if you tried a couple?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I'm done. So here's what happened. I created rapport by using a magic sequence called I am just curious. Now, when you say I am just curious, it disables people's rejection. It opens up some programs in their mind. There's no time to explain it now, but when you say I'm just curious before a question, everybody will go out of their way to be nice to you. So I just said, I'm just curious, do you ever get tired in the afternoon? And of course, prospect said, yeah. Now I got to enter. Step 2 was the icebreaker, introducing the business or product into the conversation. I said, well, I just found out. And when you say I just found out, that freezes the prospect's mind. It just the survival program and the curiosity program take over and say, stop, we just got to listen. I just found out I can have this healthy energy drink and have energy all day long.